I went to the meeting last Monday. It was with the Peralta Trails Landscape and Roads Committee, and they talked about a lot of different issues. One of them was landscaping, and the people from Brightview were there, and they talked about that. They talked about repairs of the walls and the blocks and that sort of thing. But one thing that got my interest was the community trail closures versus the maintenance and how they could be maintained. And so that's what I am trying to do in this video. I actually hiked all the trails, and we'll walk you through that. Here's the map that Liz from the HOA management company passed out about the trails within the area. Here's where I went. Here's Peralta Road, and I've overlaid the map that she gave us, that Liz gave us, to the map of the community. The blue lines is where I went exploring these trails. As you can see, they're a little bit different. Some trails had quite a bit of growth in them, and I had to go and jump over a tree, and I'll do a video of that. But also, the red line is where I did the bicycle ride. And I went over here to hike this one, I hiked this one, and I then went over here and hiked this one here. So that gives you an idea of the whole thing. I've tried to get all the trails that, the only one I missed, and I've done this before, is this trail off of Power Road. Power Line Road. But that's the only part I didn't do. So I recorded a lot of this, and I will post it probably on Facebook. And the reason it's really fast, except for the areas I wanted to point out, I can only have a less than 30-minute video, and this thing would take more than that. So I'm going to speed it up when I was just walking to an area or riding to an area. So this is the first part. As I went down meandering trail from my house, went down here to the path here. Let's watch that. So here we are going down meandering trail lane past the post office boxes. If you saw that, there was some damage on the sidewalks, as they talked about in the meeting, and they're going to fix those. So here I am going over to the trailhead. The next path was off of East Peralta Canyon, going down here, and then ending up at Desert Trail Lane. So that's the next trail. There is the first trail off of Peralta Canyon Drive. I'm not sure if I'm exactly on it, but as it gets kind of close to the houses here, and perhaps I was off trail, or if this is the trail, then we need to probably move it a little bit so it goes away from the houses. But right here I got a little bit lost, as you can tell, then came down and then found the trail down here. It was okay through here, pretty decent, and then we get to some brush. And as you can see, there was overhanging cat claw and fallen cactus, and then we get up here to the trees, and I wasn't quite sure how to get through there, but there's one here that really needs to be trimmed, and it might take more than just hedge clippers or whatever, because I had to jump over a stump there and around through here, and it was a little awkward. We need to clean that up and to make it for a better path. As you can see, back up to the road right here. The next part of the video shows me going from this trail along here and then cutting over. This is not a trail over here, but there is a gate there, and I went through and I wanted to explore a little bit over here. And that's what I did, so let's watch that. Here we are going down the road. It speeded up a little bit. I think it's going to be longer than 30 minutes, so I might have to put it on YouTube. Anyway, went through the gate here and went through here. This is still part and parcel, I think, up to this little dirt road here of the Peralta Trails land. And then I went back here and that's it. Here's the next part. I went from here and I went along here and went out there. Now there's another gate here, I believe, and went out and took a look at this and then came back. And then I was off a trail a little bit here, but was on the trail here and come across and go up. But first, let me show you this here. Here we go down the street, 32 times my speed. I did to go down here and then turned right up here, if I remember correctly, yes. And then went down here. I did look at the walls there. There are some issues that they talked about in the meeting about the outside walls that the association owns. And I wasn't sure what that was all about. Okay, here's the trailhead. And we go down here. This was okay trail. It wasn't super, but that's because I was off. As you saw on the map, I was off. Now, this is better here. And it was a pretty good trail. It wasn't super well marked, but I didn't get lost. And as you can see, I think some bikers with bicycles have come down here because it looks like that from the trail. But that's where we went, and then it goes back up here and follow this, and then there's the road out here. Now there wasn't a gate. I was mistaken. I thought there was a gate out here, but there's not. It just keeps going here, and then I went all the way, and you could see the freeway from here, and I went across here. Now this is not on the road. I don't think it's a trail, although it looked like a bike had maybe gone this route. And here's the other road, the other dirt road. And I went through here and checked around here and looked around a little bit and then came back. It was interesting. And here's the sign. This actually says no trespassing on Peralta Trails land. So this is all Peralta Trails land here. I don't think they're going to build more there because it's part of the association now, and I think that's all the building they're going to do, hopefully. And it's too close to the freeway, to be frank. Anyway, I looked around a little bit here and then came back to the road. I should probably speed it up. There's a good old Flatiron up there and the Supes and 54 Peak right there, Superstition Peak. Now this trail, as I mentioned, is pretty decent. If you look through that, it's kind of nice and not too bad. So, anyway, almost to the end here. And it is a good trail. I'm tempted to take my bike on it, to be frank, and back to the road. The next part of the adventure, after doing this route here, I came here and went up this trail here. There is a fence. This goes up to the power line road. You have to hop a fence here, and then there's another fence you hop here before you get to Peralta Road. Let's play it. This was one of the longer trails. It was in pretty good shape. Some places better than others. I didn't get lost as much on this one. It goes, and there's rocks there you can see. It's actually marked pretty well. and there was a little bit of trash on the road. It looks like it's been used a lot, but at the same time there was a little bit of trash here and there. I didn't have my garbage bag or I would have picked it up. Anyway, that gives you an idea of that. It was the longer one, as you can tell. A lot of beautiful area there, well marked, as you can see. I was looking in the sky there. There was the plane that came fairly close over, but you can't see it there very well. Goes up to the fairly close to the houses here, but it is the trail, I'm pretty sure, because it's pretty well marked and used. Now there was something over there. I'm not sure what that was. I'll have to go back and look. But interesting hike. We get up to the power line road up here in a ways, and then it cuts over. Beautiful saguaro there. It is long. Ooh, there's some trash. And we get up the power line road eventually here. I think I got a little bit off here. There we go. I think we're back on now, but off the trail. Looks like it's been used quite a bit. Now I cut over here. I probably didn't follow the trail directly, as you can see. But then got over here. There we go, back on the trail. Although, I don't know. We're going to have to lay it out a little bit better, I think, if we're going to work on it. Then we get to the power lines and the power line road. And then you go down here, and there's the first fence here. You don't have to hop this. You can actually, there's a chain, but it's not locked. But I hopped it anyway, as you can tell. And then went down here. And before you get to the Peralta Road, you have to hop another fence. I looked around here a little bit. There was concern previously about somebody on that road there, but I don't know. Anyway, I followed this one. Now this is across, this is not Peralta Road, that's just a road there. But they do have the trail marker there, and then this is pretty decent. Although at the end here you do have to hop the fence. You can't just ungate it. It'd be nice to put a gate in there, but I don't know the ramifications of that because that's along Peralta Trail. And there was people hiking this. It's good to see somebody out there using this trail. And as we come up here, yeah, there were some concerns here about somebody, and that's why I looked over here a little bit. I came over here and took a look. There was some trash, but somebody had mentioned that there was actually somebody was camping there, which was not cool. And he reported him to the police, I think. Anyway, here's where I hopped the fence, and then I got up to the road. Right there. Here we are back on Peralta Road. Went down here and then realized they went the wrong direction and came back and went to the property here. But then I ended up at the trailhead right here. The next part of the trail was here. I came across this road here, Peralta, and then I went up the trail here and then came back down and went all the way down and then came back up. And then went back up here and came down the one in between East Meandering Trail and Superstition Range Road. But we'll show that in the future. But I'm going to show you this one right now. This trail is pretty well marked, and it is a pretty good trail. It goes up to Power Road and also the school. There is some basketball courts over there and the school. There was some, at the time there was some dogs out there with their owners, but a couple of them got in a scrape. But anyway, it was an interesting time. Went back down and back here, and then went farther across the road here and followed the trail down right here. It's a pretty good trail. I think it's better than a lot of them. It looks like it's been used a little bit more. And as you can tell, it's not short. I might have got lost here a couple times. There we are back on, but it needs to be better marked, I believe. And right here we come up there a little bit. I don't know why I stopped there. I was probably looking to see where I was. There's the road on the side there, and people could come down from the road, I believe, and do that. Probably should speed this up a little bit. It's long as well. But it gives you an idea what the trail looks like. I might have got off trail here a little bit. It wasn't obvious where it was. There it's fairly well marked. And about this time, I think my camera was getting out of juice. My battery was going dead. So you'll see some of this in the... Well, I think maybe that was... Yeah, this is not the one that's off of Meandering Trail. And then I turned around here, if I remember right, he says. And looked around and then came back. The trellis post is marked pretty well, and I enjoyed that. Making this video took longer than the hike. I sped it up. I think I can post an hour-long hike, and I don't know. You can speed it up on. That's what I'll do. I'll put it on YouTube, and you can speed it up there if you want to. And then you can slow it down and check out the trail and see what you think when it's slowed down. Okay, I think we're getting back up to the road here. In the not too distant future, he says. I hope this is informative. It helped me understand where the trails are in Peralta Trails. I call it Peralta Trails. Or PT squared. He's still looking for that road. Where is that road? Oh, there's the road over there. Now here I think I got a little bit lost. And I'm not sure if I came back. I'll have to check the map to see if I came back the same way as I went out. And we're coming back up to the road here, he says. Maybe. I wonder what I was doing there. I wonder if we're on. This seems longer than the other one, don't you think? Here we are, the road. Here's the way I went back to Peralta Road. The next one of the hike was this path here. So I had gone down this one, and then I came back here and went down the one in between Meandering and Superstition Range Road. And it was interesting. It's not quite as well marked as some of the others, but it's not as bad as some of the others. So let's take a look at it, see what you think. Again, I had to hop the fence and go along the road that I came on previously. I did get off trail here. I think I tried to take a shortcut, and that was probably a mistake. Then my battery ran out, so I had to use my phone. Phone is more stable as far as that goes, and I should have turned it sideways, but I turned it long ways. And it gives you an idea of the trail, but it's not very inclusive. And this is the trail in between Meandering. There I turned around. No, I didn't. I keep going down there. It was pretty well maintained. It wasn't, I got off a couple times, as you can probably tell here, but it was pretty decent. And I think I might hike it more. It's close to where I live, so I might do that. Maybe take a better picture of these. And there we go. Almost to the road, he says. Yeah. You get dizzy watching this thing. But it's a lot more stable than my camera. I have to remember that in the future when I do some of this. And we're headed back to Peralta Canyon Road. That's where it ends up. There we are. The two other paths I needed to explore that I didn't on the first day was this one here and this one here, and I decided to do that with my bike. So I took it and went first to here and then went here, and I'll show you the video. Here is the first trail. I took the bike down a ways and I thought, oh, maybe I can go all the way, and then I realized you better park it here. It's kind of steep there, and I'm not much of a mountain biker, so I parked it here and went down and followed it to the road. It's pretty good. You can tell people have been hiking it, but it wasn't super well marked. I didn't get off though because it's fairly straightforward. It goes to the road there. And went back up to the bike, got the bike and went back up to the road. And right here. And here's the last trail. I hope you enjoyed this whole thing.